And my dear guests, welcome to the 281st meeting of the Secunderabad Toastmasters. So when we were thinking about what could be the best for the September 5th meeting, then we thought it's being a teacher's day, what best it could be if we have an training session. That's how it happened, and we are going to have a training session today. It will be more about how to craft your speeches. So I think it is an apt for a teacher's day. Having said that, for any meeting, there will be some ground rules. Even for today's meeting, the Toastmasters 281st meeting of Secunderabad Toastmasters Club, we have some ground rules. Please keep your audio devices, especially in mute if you're not using. And you need to talk only when you are requested to talk. Otherwise, you keep your audio system.
Yeah, you're audible now.
Yeah. You should always keep your. Is everything audible previously?
Yeah, yes, it was audible. It just got cut off for 5 seconds.
Okay. Now, if you want to switch on audio when you are called upon, then only you have to switch on your audio. Please keep your video always on so that the speaker can feel that he's actually giving in a real environment. And the third most important thing is please restrain yourself from speaking sensitive topics like sex, caste, creed, and religion, and politics, unless and otherwise it is demanded by your speech. Having said these ground rules, I hand it over the stage to the presiding officer, Rajiv.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Sadhya. So, friends, very good morning to everyone present here. I'm Rajiv, the presiding officer of today's meeting, and I welcome you all to Secunderabad Toastmasters Club. This is a place where leaders are made. Thank you, everyone, for taking out time on this pleasant Sunday. And as rightly said by Toastmaster Sadhya, today's Teacher's Day, right? So whenever we hear this word or teacher, most likely we remember it's some person who teaches in the school, right? But teacher doesn't necessarily mean someone who teaches in school. It can be anyone from whom we can learn. It can be you, it can be me, or it can be anyone. So, and as you know, the Toastmasters is a place where everyone's a teacher because we learn from each other from every meeting, and that's how we grow as a person. And as rightly said, the tagline of Toastmasters is it's a place where leaders are made, right? So on that note, happy Teachers Day to everyone present here. And before we move on to the meeting, let us recall every meeting we recollect our mission statement as to why we are present here. So for that, let me state the mission of Toastmasters Club. It is nothing but to provide a supportive and positive learning experience to everyone, where the members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, through which through which one's confidence is enhanced. So this is the mission of Toastmasters. Now that we have recollected our mission, let us start the meeting. So before we start, I see there are a lot of guests who have attended our meeting for the first time. So let us have a small quick intro from themselves as to how they came to know about our club and what are the expectations from the meeting. To start with, let us start with Nusrat. So good morning, Nusrat.
Good morning.
Yeah. So just tell you about yourself and how you came to know about the club.
Sure. Actually, it's been a long-term dream for me to be a part of Toastmasters, but I think I was lazy enough not to join that, and I was always trying to, just avoid joining. But I knew ultimately I'll be here. So I think right now the reason I took this decision is because I'm already in a leadership role, and I really want to improve this role and be a good leader to my team. That's it.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nusrat, for taking out time and shedding your laziness and attending our meeting, because that's how we as a person grow, and everyone in this everyone as a person grow. So thank you, Nusrat. And
Thank you
let
so
us
much.
have a quick intro from Radhika. So good morning, Radhika.
Hello, good morning, everyone. First of all, happy Teachers' Day to each and everyone in the meeting. I am Radhika Punakanti. I am a Toastmaster from the CDK Hyderabad Toastmasters Club. I got to know about this meeting in my WhatsApp group. So when I saw, I found it to be so interesting because being a Toastmaster I'm kind of new Toastmaster. I'm just a couple of months old. So I wanted to know like the more about the topic, how to craft speeches and how to deliver. So I found the topic to be so interesting that I joined today's meeting.
Yeah. Thank you, Radhika. Hope we have
That's
an
all.
exciting
Thank you.
session ahead. Stay tuned. And we also have Toastmaster Ashwin
Thank
from
you.
Hitam's Toastmasters. So, hi, Ashwin.
Yeah, hello, Toastmaster Rajiv. Good morning, one and all present here. Happy Teachers' Day to one and all over here.
Yeah. Just one line about your club and how you came to know about this meeting.
Yeah, yesterday we had an offline meeting in our club. So few of your club members attended our meeting and they announced that we are having a training session for new joined toasties. So I was eagerly waiting for this opportunity. So I joined it.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Ashwin. It was pleasure to hear that having Toastmasters from other club always bring diversity into the meeting. So thank you for attending and taking the time. And we also have guest Rakesh who has joined us. So hi, Rakesh.
Hi, good morning, sorry. So I'm a part of Rotract as an organization, and through Rotract and a few colleagues with whom I'm in Rotract, I've come to know regarding this session today. And as everyone appreciates the fact that speaking is a very essential skill, and I'm here to enhance that skill through Toastmasters. And yeah, thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, Rakesh. Hope you have a great meeting. Stay tuned. And we also have guest Sahiti who has joined. So good morning, Sahiti.
Yeah, good morning. This is Sahiti. This is my second time attending the club today. I've attended last week. So my mom is a Toastmaster herself, and she was always an inspiration to me. So that's how I came to know about this club. And yeah, speaking is always an essential part of life. So thank you.
Thank you, Sahiti. As rightly said, speaking is really one of the essential parts of our daily lives, and that's why everyone is interested in Toastmasters. So thank you, Sahiti. And we also have guest Kasturi Saideya who has joined. So hi, Kasturi Saideya. I think you're on mute. Um, Kasturi, I think you're on mute. Okay, I think there's some network issue on our side, so no problem. Let us move ahead with guest Sirisha. So hi, Sirisha.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Sirisha Madhav. I'm a trainer by profession. I train people of all age groups. I train kids, school children, teens, school teachers, adults. So I usually coach them on English and life skills. It is my passion to train people. And coming to Toastmasters, I have heard of Toastmasters through my friends and other colleagues. And I have many people who are connected to me on LinkedIn who are part of Toastmasters. And I want to upgrade my skills. So, and that's the reason why I'm here as a spectator. I have not yet joined. I want to see.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guest Sirisha, for your introduction. Hope you upgrade your skills through this meeting and the education mission we have important. Thank you. And we also have guest Aquib Coastline. So hi, Aquib.
Hi, good morning, Toastmaster Raju. I am associated with Coastline Toastmasters Club, which was started in June this year itself. So it's been 3 months kind of journey for me. So I saw this on WhatsApp that DTM Anant is going to give this training. So being a Teacher's Day, like I also didn't want to miss that training part, so I joined here. That's
Yeah.
about me.
Thank you, Toastmasters Club, and it's always pleasure to have other Toastmasters at our club. So thank you. And I think we also have guest Sharada who is joining. So hi Sharada.
Yeah, hello everyone. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are. You are.
Yeah. Basically, I'm Sharda. I had joined as a Toastmaster back in Saudi Arabia. I had completed my projects over there, CC1 to CC10. And then after moving to Hyderabad, I couldn't afford much time, couldn't dedicate. Presently working as a teacher in Gitanjali group of schools. We just wanted to attend this session like along with my nephew's wife actually. She is from a place in Andhra Pradesh. So we both just wanted to attend this session so that she can also have an idea about what Toastmaster is all about.
Yeah. So thank you, Sharda, and hope you have a stay tuned. So I think that's it. I guess I have introduced all the guests. So with that, let us move ahead with into our meeting, and to take forward, let me welcome the Toastmaster of the day, who's also known as the host for today's meeting. So let me welcome Toastmaster Sidhya to take the meeting forward.
Thank you, P.O. Rajiv. Welcome once again as a Toastmaster of the day, all the Toastmasters and guests. As Sergeant at Arms told at the beginning, we are going to have a training session on the Teachers' Day. So without any ado, let me call upon the teacher for today, DTM Anant. Just let me tell you something about DTM Anant. He is a Toastmaster for the last 10 years and is an ex-member of STMA Toastmasters. And currently he is a Division M Director at D41 in Gurgaon. Having this small but in a vast experienced background of DTM Anant, let me welcome DTM Anant on the stage for our training today as a teacher for the day. DTM Anant.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Rajiv, others, kindly give me a thumbs up. Sidhya, give me a thumbs up if I'm audible and visible without
Yes,
any...
you are.
Okay.
Everything clear.
I want to start with thanking Akib, if I'm pronouncing your name right, Akib from Coastline. Akib, thank you so much for reviving those old memories and maybe making my wife a little bit jealous who was hearing your reason to come here. Thank you so much. Little bit of nuggets, personal moments of happiness when we come in Toastmasters. I know a few of you being a member of this very club were between 2016 to 19. But I am seeing a lot of new faces as well. So it is very heartening to see. Kasturi Sadaya was not able to unmute and speak, but he is someone who has been a pillar of this community in your territory for so long. He works with the BVRIT College, and I have seen him passionately improving from someone who was not really able to speak fluently to now inspiring a lot of people. So I'm not the teacher over here. The point is we all are doing something in our capacity somewhere for someone, and we all are teachers in a true sense. So let's pat our own backs. Despite all the ages, professions, genders, you all are influencing someone. That is what we learn in Toastmasters, right? So today we have gathered over here to understand how to craft a speech. What are the elements, in which priority order, which we need to keep them in mind, etc., etc., etc. So before I give you, in my own way, the whole crux of my personal experience, how about you tell me in one single word, not even a sentence, in one single word or maybe a couple of words, what do you think is the most important part of any speech? Anyone? Unmute and tell. Content is a vast thing. You need to still specify and pinpoint. Go deeper.
Probably the opening Probably
Opening.
the opening. Yeah.
Okay, opening. All right.
Core perception. Confidence. Know about subject.
Your own knowledge about subject. Okay.
A core line.
One by one. Yes, Siddhaya.
Your initial statement when you are on the stage. The first
Opening.
statement on the
Once
stage.
again, opening, right? Opening.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Anyone else?
Connecting with the audience throughout the meeting.
Connection with the audience.
Audience connect. Very nice. Audience connect.
Message of the speech.
Message of the speech.
Objectives.
Objective of the speech. Hey, are you a speech judge somewhere? Contest judge somewhere? Objective of the speech. Huh? Guys, beware of this guy. Okay. Just kidding. All right. What else? Nobody spoke about body language or voice or something like that. No.
Humor sense.
Sense of humor. Nice. What else?
Confidence.
Your own confidence. Very good. Part of your body language, by the way. Okay. Here we are starting in the body language side. Okay. What else?
Clarity.
Clarity in what?
I mean, what we are explaining, trying to explain the audience.
So clarity for audience or clarity for your own self?
Clarity for audience about what we are trying to communicate to them.
Okay.
Actually,
yes, Adaya. Round 2.
Actually, both clarity
Okay.
for ourselves and for the audience.
Jitna clarity ho, utna acha, right? The more, the better. Good. Do you realize you all have a different preference when it comes to making a speech? Did you just see that? There is not a standard answer. You all have a different preference because you all have a different style. You all have a different baseline to refer to. You all must have seen someone speaking somewhere on a stage in childhood, in adulthood, or in Toastmasters, and you all must have thought, oh, wow, what a confidence. Oh, wow, what humor. Such opening statement. Or what a message. What goosebump audience connect. So all of you have been influenced by different factors. It's really, really tough to give you one standard, one shoe fits all answer. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to tell you a story. My objective also is not to bore you to death in the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes and make you run away since it's Sunday. I'll tell you a story instead. The benefit of a story, being a professional storyteller. People wait till the climax, isn't it? Once you invest your 5 minutes, you can't run away, or it will not let you sleep. In fact, it happens all the time in my family. My mom, wherever we are sleeping in that room or sitting in that room, spending some time, my mom switches on TV. She starts watching Savdhan India or Crime Patrol, either one. And 5-10 minutes, even if you don't want to watch it, in 10 minutes, you generate some interest. Now you are waiting. Oh, this guy is a murderer, or that girl is the murderer, or both are the murderer. Who is the actual culprit? Before the final 5 minutes, my mom switches off the TV. Now is the time to sleep. I'm like, what? Can you not just elongate it 5 more minutes? You have made me generate interest. Anyway, I grudgingly come out and spend some time to distract myself on something else. But that seed that was planted in my mind, that stays there. Sometimes hours later, it pops up. Hey, what if that happened to the end of the story, or this happened? We really can't get it out of our mind. That is the power of a story. So all the points that you have are one side, but to present it in the form of a story and not a speech, that is the trick. Now, to prove my point, let me tell you a story itself, and we will see what comes as the most priority, on the topmost priority out of all your elements that you listed out. And the story is a very famous, a very old story from Vikram Betal. You know Vikram Betal, on whose name the official calendar of India, Vikram Samvat, since last more than 2000 years in circulation. The story goes something like tantric or a sorcerer compelled the king to go out every dark night, moonless night, Amavasya, to go to the nearby Shamshan and conquer a ghost on a large tree. And the ghost, it was a witty ghost. It was a storyteller ghost, Betal. He used to tell the king a story. The king could not speak. If the king spoke, his head would burst into 1,000 pieces. But at the end of the story, Betal asks the king, "What do you think?" And he asks a puzzle. Now the king has to answer, and the Betal flies back, and so on and so on and so on. So every night, whenever the king goes, Betal tells him a story, and at the end, Betal asks a question. I am your Betal today. I will tell you one of the stories. I will ask you a question, and I will see all the answers that come along. The story goes something like that. Once upon a time, outside a very old kingdom, there went four travelers. They were passing by that kingdom, so they had no plan to enter the kingdom, but they were on their way to somewhere else. Days, traveling alone in the night was a tricky business. So people used to pool together, even if they didn't know each other. Somewhere along the way, in a tavern or some place, in some dharamshala, some lodge, they used to meet, talk, sit around a bonfire, and if they knew they are going the same way, they used to pool together. Safety against the thugs, the wild animals, etc., etc. Now these four people tagged along, and it was dark. It was about to rain. They thought it is better to stay outside a population center than in a jungle. So they set up a camp under a large banyan tree. There was a wooden log somewhere near it. So they set up a campfire and they slept, putting together all their belongings in one place, and decided every 2 hours, one of us will take the watch. Will guard the people and the belongings. So there is no harm done. And with that arrangement, the first person set up near the bonfire while the others slept. He looked at the log. Now, let me tell you, this first person by profession was a carpenter. What happens when a carpenter sitting idly looks at a wooden log? What happens? It starts to take shapes, forms, images in the mind. And thus, the carpenter carved out with his tools a beautiful statue or a beautiful, product, a wooden product in the form of a beautiful female figurine. In other words, he made a statue out of the dream girl that popped up in his head, a wooden statue. By the time he was finished, his watch had ended, and it was the time for the next person to wake up. Now, the next person, he also looked at the wooden log, but it was not a log anymore. It was having a structure, a shape, a face. And thus, this next person, who was by profession a weaver, people who work in textile, people who make clothes. Now, this person adorned this wooden statue with the most beautiful, gorgeous female clothing that he had in his possession. And it looked like a newlywed bride. That was the skill of this weaver. By the time he had ended his work, time for the third person to wake up. Now the third person, guess what? He was a jeweler. वे jeweler लोग क्या करते हैं? एक अच्छा वाला वुडन स्टैच्यू मिला जिसपे क्लोथ्स हैं like a newlywed bride. What is missing? Some jewelry. So it was not really a big task for him to pick out all the jewelry that he had for nose, for the necklace, the bangles, and on the top of the head to the ankles. He adorned this lifeless figurine as if it was a live girl. Finally, time for the fourth traveler to stand up and take watch. This fourth traveler was a Pandit, a Brahmin, not just any ordinary Brahmin. He was someone who had a special mantra of Vidya in his hand that if he used it in the Brahma Muhurat, like really early in the morning, just around the sunrise, he had the power to bring alive any inanimate object. He could literally make this girl come alive. And he did exactly that because everything else was ready. It was already in a proper shape. It was already adorned with beautiful clothes and decorated with beautiful jewelry. All that was needed was it to become alive and speak up. So Pandit Ji, in the next half an hour, chanted the mantra, brought all his power to fruition, made this girl alive. The moment this girl became alive and she spoke in the softest of the voices, all the four travelers, they woke up and they wondered. But not all four of them, just like you and me, not all four of them looked from the same viewpoint. For Pandit, it was all about, hey, I brought it to life. For the carpenter, hey, it was a wooden piece. And see, I made it look alive. For the jeweler, it was all about, this would have been any ordinary, ignorable wooden piece. I made it look alive with such beautiful jewelry. And for the weaver, this, even if this were a real girl, it would have been ignored simply, but my clothes made it look alive. Can you draw a comparison? All four of you, you have your own viewpoints. Humor, opening, body language, confidence, structure, message, audience connect. You all have different viewpoints. Just give me a second. Now, let me ask you the question that the Betal asked King Vikrama. All four, when quarreling, that it is I who made her look alive. Well, all four are really true. All four have a stake, but who has the largest stake, the biggest stake in this girl's life? Who do you think? Pick your answer. You have four options: the weaver, the carpenter, the jeweler, or the pandit. Pick yours. And I'll tell you, there is one answer. There is always a ranking order. So you tell me, what is the ranking order? Who was the most who was a person who really made her look alive in the most appropriate sense? Whose stake was larger in this girl's?
Carpenter.
Carpenter.
Yeah, carpenter.
Initiative.
Some people say carpenter. Okay, raise a hand. How many say carpenter? By switching on your video or giving a thumbs up, either way. Okay, hand raised by Kiran Mais, Ranjani, Ramanand, Shravya, someone else as well. Okay, thank you, Ashwin. Now, who say jeweler is the one whose stake was the highest? Nobody. Who says it was the pandit? Okay, my voice was echoing because someone was on mute. No worries. Who was? How many of you say it is? Can we go on mute? Okay, how many of us will say it is a jeweler who has the highest stake? And how many of us will say the weaver has the highest stake? Weaver. Nope. Okay. This is what King Vikrama said, and after which I will give you my analogy or my reasoning around in the context of a speech craft. King Vikrama said, the person who gave this lifeless object a body, he is like her father. So the carpenter is like the father. The person who brought her clothes is like her brother. So weaver is the brother, because that is what brothers do in our functions, in our chak bhat or in our marriage functions. Clothes always come from the brother's side, right? The person who gave her jewelry, who gives jewelry to a newlywed girl, it is a husband. So jeweler gets to marry the girl because he is the husband. And the Pandit who gave her life, well, the Pandit is her God. Pandit is her God because he brought her a soul. He brought her to life. Now, depending on whether you hear this story about who gets to marry the girl, your answer can be the jeweler. But if you look at it from the point of view, who is the most influential person in her life? Who will it be? The father, the brother, the husband, or her God? Who will it be?
God.
Okay.
Father.
All four are important. And again, once again, it is your viewpoint. Now, let me tell you how each of your answers fit over. The people who focus more on structuring a speech with a logical transitions, they set what should be the opening, what should be the conclusion, how the story or multiple stories fit together seamlessly in between. They treat the story like a father. They treat their speech like a father. They take it as his or her child. Some of you work on your stories from that viewpoint, aren't you? Don't you? You treat your stories like your speeches like your children. And let me tell you, if you wrote a draft of 1200 words and someone, maybe your mentor, told cut it down to 800, you feel pain like a father. No, I wrote such beautiful quotes, I wrote such beautiful sentences, how can I cut? Maybe I will reuse it somewhere. Well, we are the whatever we write, for us it's a masterpiece. We become attached to our own stories. So lesson for us all over there: be a strict father or mother. Don't spoil your kid, or it will get you disqualified. The people who treat their stories like a brother, the speeches like a brother, they decorate it with the right voices. It is the voices, the voice transitions, the vocal varieties, which really bring a deeper effect to a story. Even the choice of word selection, the choice of grammar, they make a story, a speech look vulgar, or they make a speech look classy. The same one piece, if a little black dress, if a girl wears in a club, it looks classy. If you wear it in our Tamil or Telugu wedding function, it looks vulgar, out of place. So the right choice of attire, in a sense, the right choice of words, and the voice, the tone with which you deliver it, that makes or breaks your speech as well. But so far, these are just a loose point. Ranking is still not there because we are still waiting for the jeweler. Now, can you tell me, you guys tell me, in the context of a speech, where can you draw comparison with the jewelry on a person's body versus what element of a speech? What the jewelry signifies?
Shiny.
Shiny, right? You're reaching somewhere close. Shine, polish, and what else? What attracts you the most the moment you look at a speaker or hear someone delivering? What is the first impression? Gauri gave us the right answer right in the beginning. Gauri, what was your answer?
The beauty.
The confidence, you said, right?
Yeah, first starting, yeah, that was confidence.
Because that is the first thing that strikes you. If I start something like ladies and gentlemen, You may use, you may form an opinion about me for the rest of the 5 minutes already. But if I say, hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, you have already formed an opinion. So confidence, but somewhere deeper than confidence, something deeper than confidence, it is your body language. The way you look and make eye contact, the way you use your gestures, your facial expressions, the way you walk and talk on a live stage, the way you use a stage, they immediately catch our attention. Even the pronunciation, the accent, sometimes in the right manner or the wrong manner, we get influenced by that so much in the contests. They somehow, with inexperienced judges or lesser experienced judges, these people become the winner over more beautiful content. It happens. It's a reality. So we can't really pick a complaint around it that अच्छे judges होते तो पहले हमारा content देखते, story देखते, message देखते. ये तो flashy speaker आया, handsome lady आई, sorry, beautiful lady आई, handsome लड़का आया, उसको देख के फिसल गए, वोट दे दिया. But this is a reality. This is a reality. If you see, Nawazuddin is a better actor. Nawazuddin Siddiqui is a better actor, far better actor than maybe an Akshay Kumar. But who draws more salary? Who draws more crowd in the cinema halls? It's a reality. We have to face it. But it doesn't take away the significance of the content. Content remains the king. The point is, jewelry on a girl's attire plays equally important role like your body language and your vocal variety in amplifying, making it more shiny, the message. Finally, Panditji, the god who put the soul in this lifeless object. In the speech, what is the soul of a speech? Tell me. Ramanand, you gave the answer already.
Yeah, message, the knowledge,
the message.
Yeah.
How do you decide the message? So content, as I said, is a large piece. Content, so many things. Message is a part of the content. Achieving that purpose or that message is the exact bullseye in the whole speech craft. Achieving the message is the important part. You having a message, not going to, cut it. Audience taking away a message is also not going to cut it because it may not be the same message that you had in mind. See, that's also a possibility, right?
Yes.
What you have in mind, are you able to place as closely as possible the same message in the majority audience's mind? That is the ultimate objective. To achieve that objective, focusing on the message, the soul, is important. You having a story and force fitting a message at the end, moral of the story, makes a speech. Fine. It may not be the best speech that organically comes out. You having a story, you finding not good enough, ordinary story. Koi baat nahi. So what? It's still a story. It also has a learning, a message. We are sometimes we are very shy, very fearful to make impression on others so much that we twist the story or the message, expecting people will find it credible. People would find it incredible and they will take it away. No, it doesn't happen that way. The more simple, sober the story, more powerful it can be. It's all about that audience connect. Now, audience connect, someone said good, but how part is the main part. How do you draw? How do you form? How do you build that audience connect? The cheap way to do it, and I'm so sorry to use the word cheap, but it is what it is. The cheap way to do is make it funny, make it humorous, overly humorous, make a exaggerated opening, make a funny opening, make something wild as a claim in the beginning. People sit up and take note. You at least draw their attention. And instantly an audience connect is built. but will it survive? Will this audience connect survive till you finish? That is a bigger question. I don't claim that all of you after this session will be able to form that connection. Hell, even I'm not able to form that connection with all of you in today's session. So what? We always focus on the majority of the audience, and we try to pass on the exact message on which we have thought, prepared, practiced that message. If you look at any contests, any world championship winning speeches, what we remember is maybe a punchline, a tagline, the title of a speech, a phrase. But somewhere in the subconscious mind, we have absorbed this message because it was that powerful. I'll give you an example. If I tell you a message, will you be able to recall a story? Let's try. Slow and steady wins the race. What is the story behind it?
Hair and tortoise. Like the first story will come in mind.
Yeah, bachpan mein, when you guys heard the story for the first time, like some of you are much older than me as well. So when we heard the story in our childhood, in any medium, Hindi medium, English medium, Telugu medium, story is story. When we heard the story, did we even understand what is slow, what is steady, which race are we running? We didn't give a 2 cents about it. Farak nahi pada. But today, when we understand the meaning, how do we retain it? We retain it with the story. It is the story that has kept it alive in our mind. वरना तो इतनी proverbs, इतने idioms, इतने messages, इतनी learnings हमने सीखे हैं, क्या फर्क पड़ा? It is the stories that are the right conduit. They are the right packaging with which the message is preserved and passed it as it is from one side to the other. That is why we watch advertisements, which are a short story. That is what we watch movies, because we like the stories. That is what we read books, textbooks, Hindi, English stories, science, math, physics, stories. In a different sense, it's a story. Business cases, case studies, and academic stories. Office jaake, every time we open a mail, it's a story, because the message is being tried to be delivered. Now, it's a different case. It's a different matter altogether, how effectively that message is passed. There are some emails. Some of you work in corporate. When you open it on Monday morning or will open tomorrow, someone will write, what happened to what I asked you on Monday? When can you deliver it? And message is not delivered properly because you don't even know what the person is talking about. You need a context. You need the when, why, what, how. Then only you can answer. So you need to investigate in your own mailbox, etc. What if the person would have told, hey, I am writing to you regarding what we discussed, about what, on what date, where, and you had committed this. So what happened to that? If this brief story is told, made your life easy. Now you are in a position to answer. That is the audience response. So audience will only respond if they absorb the story. In another way, through a story, they absorb the message. How many of you have focused on this aspect when crafting any speeches in Toastmaster or before Toastmasters ever? How many of you really tried to wrap it around a story, your messages? Akib, what was your experience?
So it was like when I was writing my second speech, so I put two of my personal stories, family stories. So that made it very easy for me to craft the entire speech. I mean,
beautiful. Can
until
we have a round of
I
applause?
was different quotes and all. So these two stories like gave me 3 minutes kind of space. And then
I
put
want to congratulate you for one thing, boss. I want everyone to congratulate Akib because he hit the nail on its head. Because it's not just any story; it's a personal story or a couple of personal stories that he wrote or shared. क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? How will it matter, Kiran Mai, if I tell you a story of Mahatma Gandhi with a message? What? Nothing novel. Maybe if I tell it in a poetic manner, 2 minute के लिए appreciate करेंगे, but the story is already heard. It's nothing authentic, nothing original. Right, Gopi? Right, Rajiv? It's nothing original. Mera kya contribution hai? How it is credible? But Ramesh, if I tell you a story of my grandmother, do you have a grandmother, or did you used to have a grandmother?
Yes, I have.
So when I am telling you a story of my grandmother and I, in your mind, the face will not come of my grandmother. You haven't seen her. It will be the face subconsciously of your grandmother, and you will find yourself in the shoes of your character. That happens when we read a story from the books.
Yeah.
How do we see the character? Unless it is very visually descriptive, how do we see the characters by default? हम ऐसा देखते हैं as if it is our own eyes through which we are seeing that universe in the books or the movies. First person view, right? Right, Ramesh?
Right.
So if I tell you, all of you, now all of you, if I tell you, once upon a time, there was a king. He had 4 sons. The youngest was the wisest. Immediately now you have a friend, the 4th son. बाकी 3 sons, ना 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 ना, हमारा favorite कौन है? पहले ही fix हो गया. And if I tell it the story in a manner, the eldest was the cruelest. You immediately have a villain spotted as well, जिसके पास दूर से भी नहीं जाना है. None of you, I'm sure none of you, even if you are a very cruel person, तो भी, none of you will find the first person or the first son, eldest son, as a hero of your story. DDLJ देखते हुए सिनेमा में, टीवी पे, do you stand up on your chair and dance whenever Amrish Puri slapped Shah Rukh Khan? Either of you? Never. Never, right? Because the story is set up in a context. There is already a time which is invested in setting up your characters that makes it really, really obvious who your heroes are. Who are you taking side of? They may have a change of heart, so villain can become an ally. That's a different thing. But it is the properties of a character that make even a story really, really engaging, really, really interesting. Let's have a look. What have we learned so far so that knowledge is retained? We may have different layers of focus or importance. It can be the confidence, the body language, the humor. They're all like the jewelry, or maybe the clothings on a lifeless wooden log. If that log doesn't have a soul, it may have a soul, but if it doesn't have a shape, a structure, आपको मेल फीमेल का पता नहीं चल पाएगा, right? If the structure is not clear, you will see a message, but the message you will take away will be maybe a wrong message. So that is why the structure is also important. But having everything mechanical to distinguish between a robot and a real life person, you need to have a soul, one single soul. ज़्यादा soul आ गई तो भूत हो जाएगा. No, it will become a ghost. So you need to have one single unfiltered crisp message, one soul, one message in this entire structure. That is the one single message that you have in mind, you want to have your audience taking away. Mistake क्या करते हैं? We fit 2, 3, 4 messages. That also is wrong. All the champion speakers, the greatest speeches of human history, they all have one message. One message. I have a dream. Friends, Roman countrymen, or Audacity of Hope by Barack Obama. Some of the greatest speeches of human history in the last so many years. They all have one message. Many stories, but one message. Akib may have told 2 stories of his own family, but I'm sure if the audience stood up and applauded, he may have had only one message for both the stories. People who give speeches on their convocation or valedictorian speeches, you know, the world wo jo gold medalist wala speeches aata hai, some of the speeches are really, really good. Some of the guests who deliver keynote speeches, they have so many stories, but the message always remains one. So the messaging part, that is the soul of a speech. So unless you have the clarity about the message in your own mind, अगर आपको नहीं है तो ऑडियंस को कहां से आएगी? True, no? First you have the clarity, so your audience has clarity. Now, इतना होने के बाद, coming to the preparation part, this was the planning part. The preparation part is how do you deliver your message? Stories. And how do you make your story sharper, penetrative, long lasting in mind? Tell the characters, describe the characters in a manner that they just stamp their impression for life. Someone told about audience connect. Well, this is how we build audience connect. The more visually descriptive, the more memorable a character, the story, the plot point, the overall messages, that is how we connect. The cheaper way is to instantly generate a connect. I have told you that. Use that. Nothing wrong with that. But have it on the foundation of a proper story. Characters. So many movies we see from Hollywood, right? Formula movies, Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and Furious 9, Fast 5. Every time they come with a tagline, one last time for family. But वो one last time नहीं होता, अगली बार फिर sequel आता है. So I really have lost what the movie was all about. If I ask you what was the Fast and Furious 6 and Fast and Furious 7 about, भूल गए. I don't know what the story was about. आप अगर बॉलीवुड मूवीज देखते हैं, गोलमाल 1, गोलमाल 2, गोलमाल 3, what was the main story? If someone is a really hardcore Ajay Devgan fan or Rohit Shetty fan, they will probably remember whatever the story was. I don't even recall what the story was. They were enjoyable, but they were cheap humor. They were not substantial because the story was not memorable enough. But I remember a story that was memorable for lifetime. Avengers. The moment Thanos, and I saw people turning to dust. Oh wow, goosebump moment. But do you have to have a story which is a life and death thing, or maybe a universe breaking thing to become it, to make it award winning or maybe a memorable one? What do you think? Do we need to have an incident or a story of that scale तो ही काम होगा? ऐसा है क्या? Yes, no? Unmute and tell. Yes, no?
No.
No.
10 years ago, when I started my Toastmasters journey, and this is something that I always use as an example, and I'm always embarrassed because of it. 10 years ago, when I began my journey in Toastmasters, in public speaking, the first objective was icebreaker, right? How many of you have delivered your icebreaker within 1 month of joining? Raise your hand. 1 month, huh? 1 month. Good. 6 months? At least 6 months दिया हो जिसने deliver किया हो अभी तक. How many of you have joined it more than 6 months ago but never delivered a speech till now? Raise your hand. I took 2 years. If you think you are bad, don't worry. You can't beat my record, and you should not beat my record. I took 2 years. Today I am a DTM. I am about to complete my second DTM. Second time I'm serving as a division director. I have delivered numerous sessions, education sessions. If I am able to hold most of you till now in this session, well, this is how far I have become. But that day, those days in 2011, 2013, I was waiting for something memorable to happen in my life so I can deliver that as a ice. Never happened. So don't be in that rut. I have been there, so I'm warning you. Right? Everyone, give me a thumbs up if you will take this as a message from the short story. See, I just told you a short story, personal story, in a funny manner, in a self-deprecating manner. But my message was what? One single line message. Akib, what is my message?
We should not wait for that moment. Whatever is coming, we should.
Any of you did get a message like we can wait for 2 years to deliver an icebreaker? Anyone got that message?
No.
Okay, conversely, did anyone get the message that people who deliver speeches in 1 month are really worth applauding people? Did you get that message?
No.
No. It was a good message. But deliberately, that was also not the intended message. The message was, don't wait for a life-changing, groundbreaking, universe-shattering thing to happen and wait for that as a speech point. Deliver your speech of any moment of life, any grounded moment, just like the movie Lunch Box. It went to Oscars. What was the premise? If you have seen that, even if you have heard about it, it is all about dabba walas mixing up two deliveries. So one housewife talking to an office person, a widower, and they forming a friendship. And that was the premise. See, such a simple thing. पूरी मूवी में बस वो खाना बनाते रहते हैं and we are as a viewer we are salivating. अरे वाह ये बन रहा है वो. The point is, it can be that simple and still it can win awards. It is a simplicity which is the divinity. So stories में पिरोना है अपने speeches को, and the stories don't need to be grand. You can have a simple story and still we can leave a message. But the message, you have to have a clarity what exactly is your message. Now, if we are sorted till here, and if you now know which stories to pick from your life, how to customize them or structure them as a story and wrap them within the speech, with what message, and how you can amplify them, not build them. Building ke liye to you need to have a story or the message or the incident, but how to amplify the effect with the clothing and jewelry, the icing on the cake, the body language, the variety, the choice of words, the choice of phrases, right? That is their role in the entire speech craft. And you don't need to even worry about the audience connect them, because your audience will by default connect it. We focus too much on connecting with the audience that we take our focus away from these elements. It works the other way around. If you focus on the basics, the fundamentals, audience will be connected. And you won't even have to mug it up, memorize, ratify. It's your personal story. It will flow out of you automatically. Now, I put a small break here and open for next 5 minutes for Q&A. Anyone has any question, please ask. If I'm able to answer, we will. Otherwise, I will note it as a question to take away. Tell us.
Yeah, Anand, I have question.
Please.
So, yeah, while preparing for the speech, sometimes it's taking longer time, to hours, 4 hours or 5 hours. And the question is, what is the best approach to prepare the speech in certain period of time? So when I started preparing my speech in a document, and it's taking over. And after that, while preparing for second speech, I dropped down.
I understand. Got your point, Ramesh. Got your point. Now, see, I will tell you my approach, because see, I took more than any of you, more than all of you combined for my first speech. I took 2 years. So I am a PhD holder in this question. Okay. So take it from my experience. How do I go about it? It all begins with an incident. Don't run after a message and look for a story to reflect that message. Look for an incident of life. Let's say I got into an accident. So it starts with a word or a thought. Accident while going to Goa. That's it. If you have this idea in mind, you have a speech in mind. That's it. It's all a matter of putting it on paper. But now you really have to start the right way. How many of you will go with this? Think of an opening, a catchy opening, a memorable opening right away. You already have a story in mind, Goa. So how many of you will start going by this? Let's now fix up an opening. And let's spend 2 days in thinking of a grand opening or the best joke or whatever we can. How many of you? Well, no problem with that. But actually, it's a wrong approach. Let me tell you why. There are always these 3 distinctive elements to any performance, a movie, a speech, a book. opening, body, and then the summary or the conclusion, right? We always have this. Guys, please unmute and tell if you agree with that. We always have these three things, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Anil.
Yes. My approach is always to start with this part. This is your story part. You straight away start with once upon a time or last week when I was going to Goa, or it is of it is an incident of 12 September 2017. आप बस story चालू करो, धड़ your story will start. That's it. And because there is a story in between, there will also an organic moral of the story or a conclusion, right? So part 2 done, part 3 done. अगर इतना हो गया ना, now you know what is your message. You know what is your message. To make your audience align with that. Why to have a third thing over here separately? इसी message को customize करके यही आपको opening भी बनेगा. So opening is the last thing for me. Actually the second last thing. इतना होने के बाद मैं बनाता हूँ what is my speech title. मेरा speech title is the last thing. But some of us, I understand, we start with the speech titles, then we think of opening, then we look for a story, and then we put the message. Just reverse the whole process. Start with the story. You will have a conclusion, a moral of the story. Where there is a win, there is a will, there is a way. A slow and steady wins the race. How did we arrive at that wisdom? With the story. If the story is there, message is there. And if the message is there, कर लेंगे ना opening भी. Opening में क्या बड़ी बात है? Right? How do you remember this session was started? I made a comment on what Akib said, and I delivered it in a joking manner. Did I come prepared with that opening? कि आकिब भी आएगा, आकिब ऐसा बोलेगा और I will turn it into a joke and ऐसा. It just happened. My wife was smiling listening to that. अरे वाह, तभी तुम्हारे पांव धरती पे नहीं पड़ते आजकल. So I was like, okay, ठीक है, I will use it as an opening. But I had my story in mind. And before the story, I set up the context that this is what we will do. I did an audience engagement. So audience got connected. I asked you some smart questions. Did I ask you questions which you needed to answer in a paragraph? Barely one word, two word, yes, no, right? अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं, okay guys, how are you? And Rajiv stand up and say, पूछो मत भाई, बहुत बुरा हाल है. बारिश हो रही है, तबीयत खराब है. Not the way I intended. So I should change my question. Rajiv, are you feeling happy today? The answer will be yes or no. Raise a hand if you agree with my quote. Answer will be just a raise a hand or not raise a hand. See, I just did a quick engagement. हो गया मेरा opening. I don't really need to prepare for that. Or if you really need to prepare for that, how do you prepare? You prepare because of what is there packaged in the meaty part, the story and the message, the conclusion. वही बनेगा आपका opening, right? Okay, I think I have answered to that. One more quick question, because then we need to go forward with the meeting as well. So tell me.
Hi, Anant. This is Pranidhi.
Yeah, Pranidhi.
I want to ask you a question that if I can give the speech in the story. I'm telling the story, but it's my story, but I can put someone into that story, and can I tell that
Why not?
speech?
Why not? Why not? What if I tell you the story of a famous movie and a book, A Walk to Remember? सुना दूंगा, क्रेडिट देके सुना दूंगा, मेरा 5 से 7 मिनट का स्पीच हो जाएगा. I am telling it in my own way though. So what's the harm? But I am just telling, if you want to have the larger impact, more impact, you have to have a personal story. And if you feel मेरी personal story में मैं अपने बारे में बताऊंगी, it can become too embarrassing, I'm not comfortable, well, I respect that. You can tell it like it happened with my friend. It's okay, right, Pranidhi?
Okay.
You can tell it like
yeah.
that. But if, let's say, by sheer fate, your message is, so guys, be courageous. Were you living that message yourself? So we need to practice what we preach. It can become really uncomfortable. So find a safe space where you can deliver this as a speech, not to your family members, maybe to your Toastmaster family members. I have delivered the most embarrassing, the toughest, the most, hiding my face in my palm kind of speeches at this platform. And they have really made me comfortable enough to speak outside. People deliver speeches about menstruation, people deliver speeches about sexual abuse, people deliver speeches, impressive speeches which really get them noticed. They walk all the way till TEDx ke stage tak bhi, UNICEF ke stage tak bhi. How? Because they are talking about a personal trauma. People, sportsmen who are taking a break from US Open tennis or from cricket like Ben Stokes and Naomi Osaka, they're talking about mental health. How embarrassing it can be. अरे अरे क्या हुआ, डिप्रेशन में है इसलिए चला गया. How weak that person is. No, it is courageous. So we need to really gather some courage, talk about it. It can be hurtful like anything. At the end of it, this is what makes you a tough speaker. So Pranidhi, if your question was, can I make someone else the character of my story and deliver it? I hope I have answered. Was it
Got it.
any other way around? Then you can correct me.
Okay, so I got my answer.
Thank you, Pranidhi. Final question, guys. Quick one.
Hi, Anant. Actually, Yashwant here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I have one question basically, but I don't know whether it's relevant to the matter or not. But still, I wanted to ask.
Why not?
Yeah. So basically, from when I joined this Toastmaster, I continuously delivered 3-4 speech. I completed L2 to L2 P2 also. But when I come to L2 P3, so like Toastmaster mentoring. So from last 3 months, I am struggling to draft the speech, and I am not able to think what I need to write, how I can write.
If in one line you can tell me what approach did you take, what were you planning to write or trying to write in one line?
Yeah, actually, I am planning to write something, really, it's relevant. Incidents happened during my Toastmaster journey.
Wait.
Yeah,
you are on the right track. So
Yeah.
if you are not delivering something, planning something preachy or 3 ways in which you can be a good mentor, blah blah blah. If you are writing about the incidents, already on the good path.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of incidents you were looking for? Were you looking for incidents only in your Toastmasters journey or in life?
Actually, I am looking for only Toastmaster journey, but since Toastmaster journey is only hardly 6-7 months, so I can include my life journey also.
There you go. That's your answer. In your life, you have learned so many things. You have
Yes.
had so many teachers, influencers, family members, friends, professors, bosses, children, cousins. They have really stood up in our movement. So if you are in your vast data bank of your mind, if you're looking for what stories to pick, always and always and always go for those bright spots where you felt something.
Okay.
If I ask you, close your eyes and think of a moment where you felt sad, heartbroken, happy, glorious, achievement. If you focus on a word and think, you will definitely have a moment pop up. Whether it was the exam or you missed your bus, rejected in an interview, the shaky or sweaty palms in your first icebreaker speech. Well, if you didn't have, congratulations. I had. I wrote something like that on my palm and I wipe it off because I was sweating and I forgot what I wrote. I forgot between my school and my job, my college came. I forgot. I could not even remember my college name on stage. See, now it is a point for a good, funny story right now, impromptu. But that time I was really nerve-wracked. I remember one person who came along and told me afterwards, good job. I said, "Kai ka good job? मैं भूल गया वहाँ पे 30 seconds." So he said, but next time you will never forget. एक बार हो गया ना, अच्छा बात है. जितना जल्दी हो जाए उतना अच्छा है. Next time it won't happen. See, that becomes a really good story point for a mentoring. So think of a moment where somebody gave you a counsel and advice, because they are the mentors. You don't really need to have a teacher or a Toastmaster mentor like Vikram. You don't need to talk about them necessarily. Well, you can talk about them. He will feel happy. You can really pick stories about anyone. So broaden your scope, pick anyone, and talk about a moment. It is not about a person that you are talking about. You are talking about a moment where you went through something, how that person helped you out. That is what mentoring is all about. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
All the best. Hey Vikram, how are you?
Hi Anand, fine. Nice to have you here. Thank you, Anand.
You didn't need me if you were there. You could have taken the session already. Vikram is someone who has gone through so many ups and downs in life, in Toastmasters journey, as well as while dealing with me when I rejected his many speech drafts. He now knows.
And Anand is my mentor, so he's my mentor. I approach him for any mentoring aspects, some speech or anything. So
He approaches me once in 2 years. Yeah. Okay, jokes aside, guys, thank you so much for listening patiently, staying till the end. And I want to hear just a couple of words before I hand over back to the Toastmaster of the day and presiding officer. What is your takeaway in one single line? We have discussed so many things in one line, maybe from some guests. And would you like to come back to this platform and try this yourself? So only for the guests, not for the members, guests. So guests, what do you say? Nusrat, how was your impression? Did you have a takeaway?
Definitely yes, Anant. I think I'm really impressed with the fact that you spoke so confidently, and I'm just aiming to reach there. So, and I think you have a very good control on the tone and on the speech, of course, and you know your audience. Okay, thank you so much.
I want you to record this and send to me so that I can show it to my wife as well. She doesn't believe it.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Gopi, how about you?
Hey Anant, thank you so much for sharing wonderful tips for me, and I have many takeaways I can say. The best part I can say that even most of the time I used to prepare a speech with the title, and then I used to spend a month's time to put it on a paper and make it ready. So yeah, I think now I got a good tip where to start. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thank you so much for recalling that. Krishna ji, how about you?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It was a fantastic session. I came in late because I saw the message late. But what I can tell you is the one thing which I really caught me was crafting the speech part, where I always end up looking at a grand opening first, and then I try to look at how the message is going to be, and then I think about the conclusion. But when you spoke about talking about the body and then the conclusion and the title coming last, it made so much of sense. I think it's for me, that is a fantastic takeaway, and it was worth my time being here today just for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Krishna, for your encouraging words, and my sincere request. You being a global globetrotter in Toastmasters nowadays, so spread it around, spread this message around. This is nothing original that I came along. This is also an experiential learning. So life is too short to learn from your own mistakes. Spread it around.
True. I'm actually going to come up with a series of workshops for the Toastmasters, and this is one of that, crafting a speech. This is fantastic. Thank you so much.
Honored, sir. I'll be honored. Thank you so much. One final takeaway from maybe Dr. Archana. Archana ji, if you can hear us. Okay, in that case, I will go to Ramanand.
Yeah, the soul part of that. Yeah. First of all, happy Teachers Day, all of you guys. And thank you, Anand, to give me the brief and the good how to craft our speech. But the main the takeaway from me is that how to the soul part of the speech, how to include my own personal journey through their story, so that I can connect with audience. So yeah, the main thing is the soul, how to deliver our message through the story, so that it will be long run in our life. It will be delivered to the other person effectively. So that is a worth to take away from this today's session.
Thank you so much, Ramanand. And just want to share this little rascal with you. So he is someone who keeps sitting patiently when you guys interact. He keeps sitting very patiently and takes interest. If you guys don't respond in between, then he starts becoming cranky. So thank you so much for being a patient audience on my behalf, on his behalf, both of our behalves. And thank you so much, guys. Mr. Toastmaster of the day, take the session away. Thank you so much, guys. It was a pleasure talking to all of you.
Thank you, Anand.
Thank you, Anand, and thank you all.
Toastmaster there?
Yeah, you are not audible.
Rajiv, over to you.
Yeah. So thank you, DTM Anand, for conducting this session on speech crafting today. And to tell my takeaway from this is one quote which you stated in your session, that is, simplicity is the divinity. Rightly said. And with that, we from the HTM have a small acknowledgement which we'd like to share with you. Just a minute. I hope you can see my screen. So thank you, DTM Anand, for conducting this session at our club, and we would like to hear more sessions from you in the future. Thank you, DTM Anand.
Thank you, Rajiv. It has been my club as well, so I am just a family member. Thank you so much.
Very rightly said. We are Toastmasters are a group of family members. Thank you. And with that, let us move forward into our session. For that, let me welcome Toastmaster of the day.
Rajiv, are you audible?
Yeah, you're audible now.
I don't know what happened. I was not on mute actually. The same thing happens on virtual platform. Thank you anyway. So that was a wonderful session from DTM Anand. Thank you very much, and hope everybody got reasonably good teaching on a Teacher's Day. Now let us move ahead with our meeting, and without any late, let me call upon the timer Saptarshi to introduce his role as a timer. Saptarshi?
Thank you, Toastmaster Siddha. Am I audible?
Yes, audible and visible too.
Thank you. So money can make you rich and even wealthy. But did you know if you lose money, you can gain it back using knowledge and acquiring certain skill set. However, time once lost cannot gain back. You cannot invest time in mutual fund and get back lost time. Hence, one who utilizes time efficiently is truly wealthy. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As timer, I'll time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At first minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. Those giving speeches should limit their remarks to their specific speech times. Icebreaker speeches should be 4 to 6 minutes in length. At 4 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 5 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the red card. Most other speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 5 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. At 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. The individual evaluation should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Siddha.
Thank you, Saptarshi, for explaining about the timing cards and times. Now, I would like to call upon the word master and grammarian for today, TM Snigdha, to introduce herself.
Hello, am I audible and visible?
Perfect.
Yes. Hello, good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I'm Snigdha, the word master grammarian of today's meeting. Toastmasters is all about communication. When we communicate in whatever language it may be, it needs to be correct. There are few speakers who have an astonishing style of speaking and communicating, but when they use certain words or phrases incorrectly, the effectiveness of the speech goes down. As a grammarian, it's my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listen carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, or phrases used by them in today's meeting. It is also my duty to introduce a word of the day and idiom of the day. For today's meeting, the word is astonishing, which means extremely surprising or impressive. An example of using this word is the impromptu speech by Vikram was astonishing. The idiom of the day is hang in there, which means don't give up. An example of the use of this idiom is the pandemic can be really depressing. Hang in there, it will get better. Each speaker is expected to use the word of the day and idiom of the day. I'll give my grammarian report at the end of the meeting when called upon. Thank you.
Thank you, Snigdha, for that introduction. Now let us get started with the three segments of this particular meeting. We have three segments. First one is the prepared speeches. Second segment is table topics, and the third segment is evaluation. Let us begin with the prepared speeches. To start the prepared speeches, today we have two speeches and the two are icebreaker speeches. So let me call upon Ashwant and give the objectives in general of a icebreaker speech. Ashwant.
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmasters Sidhaya. So today I will be playing the role of evaluator. And today, Gauri is going to deliver her L1P1 speech that is called icebreaker speech for her first project to the club. Basically, the purpose of this project is for the member is to introduce herself in the club and also learn the basic structure of the prepared speeches in public forum. So this timing of a speech would be 4 to 6 minutes. So over to Toastmaster Sidhaya.
Thank you, evaluator. So timer, please note both the speeches are icebreakers. The same objective will go and the timing will remain the same. Now, let me call upon the first speaker of the day, Raviteja. Before that, can I have your audio and video check, please?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible and not visible. Can spotlight Raviteja?
Yeah, I spotlighted him.
Okay, right. So, Raviteja, who am I? Who am I, TM Raviteja?
So, I'm a kind. Okay. You are such a chatterbox. Or why do you overtalk? Used to be the frequent complaint about me to my parents during my schooling. And now my parents push me to speak up while attending any of the social gatherings. How many face this situation in your life? Raise your hands. Yeah, thank you. Well, you have observed the contrast between the above scenarios, and that will pave the path to today's title, Who Am I? Hi, this is Ravi here. I was born in Visakhapatnam and raised in Hyderabad. I will divide my life journey into 3 stages. To start, by the time I was 10, I used to top the class and was very competitive in nature. It triggered my father to join me in a better school than the current one for better exposure. It was all good with new friends, better exposure. Then comes the next stage, realization stage. When I was 12, my older sibling cracked all the entrance exams like JEE, MSET, AIEEE, BITS, etc. And he chose computer science in IIT Hyderabad. I was astonished by having a look at the entire campus. And as a 7th class student, I was filled with aspiration to get into it back then. By the time I cleared my 11th, I was busy investing my valuable time in unworthy friendships, sports, etc. Thus, it made me realize that engineering isn't my cup of tea and led me to choose finance stream. While my brother had bagged a placement offer from a well-reputed company, that is Qualcomm, Hyderabad, and I decided that it's time to change when I visited his office. It gave me the courage to admit my mistakes and work on them. Thus, the outcome was positive. Academic performance got improved, and she cleared my CA entrance exam in my first go with a good score. Here comes the next stage, the aspiration stage. By this time, one may have realized who had an impact on me. Eventually, over time, I got to know that I made minute progress towards transformation as my next level of CA, that is, CA Inter, had been delayed. Eventually, I managed to clear CA Inter. I joined a medium-sized firm for an internship, and I'm currently one step behind to prefix CA, Chartered Accountant, in my name. Yet again, what triggered me that I made minute progress was my brother managed to get into ISB Hyderabad, Indian School of Business, for his MBA. Then I got to know that networking skills and leadership skills that were developed by joining Toastmasters had helped him a lot. While the baby steps were taken in our club, Secunderabad club, a few years back, it made me completely reorganize my thoughts to never restrain to change, be studious, and to develop openness. Coming to COVID, the invisible SARS virus has taught us how vulnerable our lives are and reminded us to invest our time wisely. Being a poor public speaker from my adolescence, I was searching for ways to overcome it. Toastmasters was the first suggestion by my brother as an answer, thereby approached Toastmaster Vikram. Thus, realizing time is the scarcest resource, here I am, coming out of my comfort zone, setting aside the fear of judgment, fear of change, presenting myself, trying to carve myself into a better person day by day. Well, this is my journey so far. Signing off. Thank you.
That was a wonderful speech, Ravi Teja. Let us all have a round of applause, because whenever someone completes their icebreaker speech, we need to give a standing ovation in virtual physical meeting. But in virtual meetings, let's have an applause.
Thank you.
Now, let us call upon another icebreaker, Toastmaster Gauri. Gauri, can you please check your audio and video, please, once?
Yeah, I'm audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
And visible too. Can you see the timer screen as well?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Toastmaster Gauri, my introduction. Yeah. My introduction, Toastmaster Gauri.
Yeah. Good afternoon, DTMs, fellow Toastmasters, and respected guests. I'm Gauri Srivastav, born and brought up in Hyderabad. I stay in Sainikpuri. My great-grandfathers migrated from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, during Nizam regime. Fun fact, he was Prime Minister to Nizam. Moving on, about me, I love designing my home, love cooking, gardening. I practice yoga regularly. I'm a fitness freak. I am a fan of cricket too. After completion of my graduation in commerce, I joined CA course, but I have to discontinue it because of some unavoidable reasons, which I regret till date. Later on, I took up a job with a Netherlands-based NGO. During my tenure with them, I got married. My association with them was for over 4 years. I was blessed with a child, my daughter, to have to resign the job to take care of my daughter. I decided to be a homemaker, dedicate my life towards upbringing of my child and taking care of my family. When my daughter grew and was a school-going child, I wanted to do something on my own. I became an entrepreneur. I started a manufacturing unit where we used to manufacture and supply, distribute this leather bags to computer institutes and for the seminars and conferences. For a couple of years, I was running it successfully. My husband had also started his business along with his friends. So we have to move to Bangalore to set up a branch there. I have to wind up my manufacturing unit to take care of my second child. My life revolved around my kids, my family, on my health to some extent. I totally ignored my personal development, which I always wanted to. Yeah. My friends and relatives used to give me credit for my children's higher achievements, but I was never satisfied. I usually get distracted during long conversations in English. I look for second opinion for my write-ups and avoid discussions in English with my friends and relatives. I want to throw a light on one of the incidents which took place during a road trip with my friends. We were debating. There was a debate on one of the very popular celebrity. I was against them, and my friend was a fan. It was a pretty informal discussion, but was in English. Therefore, I couldn't express myself, and she had an upper hand. Due to such incidents, I feel insulted, and I promise myself once my children are on their own, I will work on this weakness of mine. Now my children are grown up, they are well educated. My daughter is a doctor and my son is a buddy computer engineer in Vellore. I can achieve my dream, which is passion for learning fluent English. My son is a Toastmaster. He gave me the idea of joining this club. Those were the days when I used to chase my child, my son, for his studies. Now he is chasing me. As soon as he wakes up in the morning, he'll ask me, Mama, are you ready with the speech? Get it mentored, practice it, stand before the mirror and practice, or make a video of it and listen to it later on. I'm loving this journey of learning English through this Toastmaster Club. I am getting a lot of encouragement from my family members and my friends. Hope the same from my fellow Toastmasters. Thank you. Over to G.
That was a wonderful speech, Gauri. Thank you very much. So let us quickly have our poll for the best speaker of the day. Please give your 30 seconds to give votes for the best speaker. Even the speaker can vote for themselves. Right, I got all the votes. No, there are still more. Sorry. Few more.
Yeah, I think you can end it.
Yeah, okay, I'm ending it. Thank you. Now, let us quickly move to the next segment of this particular meeting, which is table topics, the most important. To do that, I'll hand over the stage to the table topic master, Toastmaster Kiran.
Thank you, Toastmaster Siddhaya sir. Yeah, very good morning, Toastmasters, and also the guests. So I'm back with a new segment today, like a table topics segment. So the purpose of table topics is to have members practice thinking and speaking on their feet. The impromptu speaking helps to develop 4 communication skills like listening, thinking, organizing, and also delivering. To help you practice today, I have prepared few topics that hopefully will help you meet this goal. Toastmasters clubs have a tradition of getting as many people to speak in a meeting as possible. The table topic rounds tries to uphold this value by providing everyone an opportunity to speak. I encourage everyone to give it a try. I may randomly call anyone to practice, or you can volunteer yourself. And for the benefit of the guests, I will be reading the topics twice. And I encourage the guests to take up the initiative to participate in table topic session. Also, I would request you all to use the word of the day and phrase of the day in your table topics round. Okay, so I'm having about 15 topics. I will be calling anyone randomly. Okay, I'll be actually there. I have a chance to give you 3 topics. So I'll be sharing my screen. Just give me a moment. Hope my screen is visible. Yes, great. So 1 to 15 are the numbers. So I have got 3 chances. So I encourage the guests to pick any one number in this, so that I will actually remove the picture and reveal the topic. So I can see Nusrat, Gopal, and other people. You can raise your hand or you can ping me in the chat. Who is going to go first? Yes, I can. Akib. Akib, between 1 and 15, you can choose any one number.
9. I'll go with 9.
Okay, great. Just a second. Akib, your topic is when the pupil is ready to learn, a teacher will appear. When the pupil is ready to learn, a teacher will appear.
Thanks, table topic master, for giving me this opportunity. Topic given to me is when the pupil is ready to learn, a teacher will appear. So it goes back 6 months down the line when I switched my company. So earlier I was working with Vedanta Limited, and recently I've moved out to another company called as Act Fibernet. So we had a lot of reporting requirements, and I was not doing a lot of reporting in my other company. It was most of operation kind of profile. And there was a requirement of certain learnings wherein I had to prepare certain reports, do something in SAP, and all this data had to be combined together, formatted in a way that management wants. So you had a pupil is ready, he wants to learn, but teachers were, I needed certain teachers, then a thought popped up in my mind that what best can be other than YouTube. And I started scrolling YouTube, tried to find out the ways, how to learn Excel, how to learn SAP, and all these things got, it got very helpful for me. And in a quick span of 3 months, I was able to learn almost all of the tricks of Excel, and it has helped me grow as a person as well. There is no need to physically find a teacher and he teaches you. It's like whenever you have a necessity, you go to an online platform, you find out, you search for it, you'll find out certain options, and then you go for it. It's ready for you, freely available across the globe. It's the best way someone can have. So I would say that if there is an approach, we say that mother is necessity of invention, right? Necessity is mother of invention. Same goes with the topic as well. Whenever you have a requirement of certain trainings, you go online, you'll find out all the answers. So that's about my take on the topic. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you so much, Akib. It was astonishing. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. And I can see Shravya, who has initiated.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shravya, except 9, you can choose any number.
6.
6, just a second. Shravya, your topic is that teacher from your school whom everyone loved to hate.
Okay. Means the most hated teacher, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I'm Shravya. My question is, which teacher is allowed to be hated more? See, actually, I can say that it's a maths teacher. Why? Because maths teacher is the one who used to take the PT hours, right? Or obviously, when we are in schoolings and all, we love to play games and we love to hang out and play with the friends and all. When this maths teacher comes, right, they will always say one thing: my syllabus is not completed. I want to take these hours. I want to take these classes. We will hardly the school children will have only one PT period for a week. At that time only, suddenly this maths teacher and science teachers will have the leisure hours. They will come and they will close that PT hours and they will say that you are having FA exams or SC exams. We need to complete more syllabus, or we need to write the notes and all. Come, let's sit and we can play. End of the day, we can play games. I'm sure. In my schools, there is a sir named Balaji sir. He used to do the same thing, and he is the toughest sir for us, and he won't allow the children to play, or else if the children or else we used to give them nicknames and all. So according to me, maths teacher and science teachers are the teachers who love to be hated more. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Shravya. Thank you so much. Even I hated maths and science teachers.
Yeah, everyone will connect to this topic.
Yes, yes. Okay. So we are going ahead with Pawan next. As we are running short of time, I'm having limited time to share the topics. Okay. Pawan, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Except 6 and 9, you can actually select any of the numbers.
4, ma'am.
Sorry?
4. It's 4.
Okay, great. So, Pawan, if you were to become a teacher, would you be a strict one or fun one?
Okay, the topic is so challenging. Yeah, I will try. Good afternoon, each and everyone. My name is Pawan. Ma'am, will you show the topic once more?
Sure, Pawan. Just a second. I'll repeat it for you. If you were to become a teacher, will you be a strict teacher or fun teacher?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Basically, I don't want to become a teacher. And if my topic name is, if you were to become a teacher, would you be a strict one or a fun one? We have to be strict and also a fun one, because children's, when we became a teacher, we have to we have to read their mindsets and all, and each and every one of them having their different type of mindsets. First of all, suppose in my childhood days, there are two of my friends. I'm taking the example of two of my friends. One person, he is so clever, and also he's so clever person, because uh, he used to create the things, and also he used to do the things in a creative manner. And one more person, he is used to study a lot. And for them, my sir is there. He is the one. His name is around. His name is Sriraj sir. Sriraj sir. He used to deal the two persons. The which I said, name of the one student is Srikant, and another name is Balaji. And Srikant is the one, like, I'm sorry for that. I'm having a throat problem. That's it, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much for trying, Pavan. Thank you so much for participating in table topic segment. And I really enjoyed your talks, and I'm very happy to see you taking the charge of improving your impromptu speaking ability. So now I would like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster of the day. And as we are running short of the time, I have given only limited topics. Nusrat and Ravi, looking forward for you in the next table topics sessions. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. And quickly, can we have the polls for the best table topic speaker, please? Thank you. I got the polls and I'm ending the poll. Now, let us move to the next segment, that is the evaluation. Without getting any delay on evaluation segment, let me call upon the first evaluator for Ravi Teja, which is Toastmasters Hyderabad, myself. So let me give the evaluation for Ravi Teja. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and special good afternoon to my targeted audience, Ravi Teja. Coming onto the Toastmasters stage, giving a speech in itself is an achievement for me, or for everyone, I would say. And you did that exceedingly well. You looked very confident, and like a seasoned Toastmaster, the seasoned speaker, you are giving in a very good pauses in between. And more importantly, you started with a question that grabbed everyone's attention towards you. And you structured your speech very, very well. And you brought in some of your experiences or your stories into the speech. And that was very good in any speech. And you divided your speech into 3 segments and explained about each of the segments. And that is a very good way of telling about yourself to the audience. That actually created more impact to your speech. And most important point I like the most is the way that you brought your story to the Toastmasters through your brother was very impactful. I loved it. That itself is a great achievement for you, and I would like to applaud one more time for doing such a great job breaking the ice. And I say you broke the ice very well. Having said this, I would like to give you 2 suggestions to improve or to challenge yourself in the next coming speeches. 1, you should bring in your personal story. You brought in personal experiences, but bring in your personal story. What happens if you bring in a personal story? When you are narrating a story, there would be characters and there would be voice modulations. There will be 2 persons speaking, maybe you and your father or you and your brother. You say, "Hi, Dad." Then he would say, "Oh, tell me some." So that you can change your voice modulation. That will create more impact in your speech. This is the number 1. And second one is use your screen. I felt you are most of the times is monotonous. Use your screen, move left side and right side. When you're telling one incident, move one side. When you're telling the other incident, the other side, use your hand gestures so that it will create impact. Only I will tell these 2 improvements for you to challenge yourself on your next page. In conclusion, good start with the question and your narration was good and you drawn your attention of the audience asking a question and your connect to the Toastmasters was exceptional. And to challenge yourself, add your personal story and narrate a story with your good body language and vocal variety and use the screen for more effective and create more impact. That's all from my side and back to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you, Siddhaya, for that
Thank you,
evaluation.
Toastmaster Siddhaya, for the evaluation.
Thank you. Now, the Toastmaster Siddhaya now would like to request the second evaluator, TM Ashwant, to evaluate Toastmaster Gauri.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Siddhaya and Toastmaster of the day as well. So today, now I am going to evaluate the speech, that is icebreaker speech of Gauri. So I would like to say it's a astonishing speech kind of thing. And I feel during the entire speech, you all might have feel the same, hang in there. Like, she is already better speaker, but the way she deliver with the clarity, definitely she will going to become a best speaker within her community and within Toastmaster fraternity. So 3 things I would like to express what excel sees in. The first was, she was very in communication clarity, I can say, and objective also. She was having very good clarity in communication and objective of the speech. The second thing is vocal clarity was also very good. Whatever she told during her speech, I think all audience very good, they will able to correlate and understand as well. The third thing, she was very much comfortable while delivering the speech in front of this large audience. This proof, like I was feeling like her speech was not first speech kind of thing. So she was very much comfortable and she was giving like a normal speaker kind of thing. And I also felt that she might have delivered so many speech kind of thing. But in reality, in Toastmaster fronts, her speech was first. So that was very good and very fine. So like she can become definitely inspirations to all the Toastmaster fraternity, because here there are so many mothers are there and so many fathers are there. And they definitely can see how clearly she explained that she taught her child, and then now her child start teaching or talking kind of thing, or helping to become a better speaker kind of thing. So this story really I liked, and this gives a clear inspiration to all the audience that see, time never passed. Anyone can start anything, any moment of life. So this is very good thing. So I will here express 2-3 small thing where she should focus upon. The first thing is gesture. So little bit improve sees, on a gesture of body gesture while speaking. And the second thing is eye contact. So eye contact also she should work, so that better eye contact she can make with the audience. The third thing I would like to say, see, story was very good, but if she could start with some question or some interesting incidents of her life which could connect much to the audience, and also she could also feel the excitement within her. So this part little improvement is required, so definitely she will work upon and she will deliver in her next speech. So thank you, well done Gauri, in first speech. Really, it was not like that first speech. I felt really you are doing good, and you are delivering your like second and third speech and fourth speech kind of thing. Well done Gauri, thank you.
So thank you very much for that wonderful evaluation. With this, we'll come to the conclusion of the third phase, and the last would be, let us take the feedback from the timer and the Wordmaster grammarian. First, I would like to call upon the timer to give the report.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Siddharth. I'll be presenting my report. So here is the report of today. Table topics, everybody qualified. Prepared speeches, everyone qualified. In evaluation, Siddhaya qualified. Yashwant took more than the qualifying time, which was 4 minutes, 4 seconds. That's the report.
Thank you, Saptarshi, for that very quick and crisp report on the timer. Now, I would like to request the Wordmaster grammarian for a report.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, is the screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That was an astonishing meeting which we had. Now, coming to the Wordmaster grammarian report, this is a report. The word of the day was astonishing, and the idiom was hang in there. Raviteja, Kiranmay, and Yashwant had used astonishing in their speeches. And Yashwant was the only one to use idiom hang in there in his speech. And that was incredible. And next is suggestions and errors in the speeches. Have to discontinue. It is had to discontinue. Next was all of the tricks. It's just all the tricks. Playing with the friends. It is play with the friends. With friends, I'm sorry. And children is already plural, so it is just children. Next is become, definitely. It is definitely become. And yes, there are few interesting words which were used by the Toastmasters today in this meeting. By Raviteja, it was bagged and triggered. By Gauri, it was wind up and distracted. By Kiranmai, it is organizing and uphold. By Akib, it is scrolling and necessity. By Shravya, it is toughest. And by Pavan, it was mindset. And now coming to the suggestions, the 3 pillars to increase the grammar is reading as much as possible, and then listening. We need to listen to people who speak and observe what they are speaking, what kind of grammar are they using. And third is practicing. There are many websites online where you can practice and improve grammar. And thank you. This is the end of the report.
Thank you very much, Signa, for that wonderful report. And with that, we come to almost a close of this particular meeting. And to conclude the meeting, I'll hand it over to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Raju.
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmasters. What a wonderful session it was. We started with a speech crafting session by DTM, and then we had a prepared speeches, table topic session, followed by the evaluation. All these segments were very good, very astonishing, and I would like to thank everyone for hanging in there throughout the meeting. So with that being said, let me take quick feedback from the guests about the how did they feel about the meeting as a whole. So to start with, Sharda, can you please give a one-line review about your about the meeting?
Yeah, hello everyone. That was in fact a great session actually. Right from the very beginning, how to craft your speech, and the entire session went on very smoothly. I just loved the way the things were going through. Thank you once again for the opportunity to attend such a wonderful meeting.
Yeah, thank you, guest Sharda. Hope you like the meeting, and we would like to see you more frequently in further meetings as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, thank you. And we also have guest Pawan who has joined us for the meeting. Pawan, any suggestions or feedback from you?
Yeah, good afternoon, Rajesh.
Yeah.
And the speech crafting session is so good, and sir gave so many good tips for the persons who are already started their prepared speeches, and also the persons who are yet to start for the preparing speeches. And I'm within soon I'm going to join in this club, and I wanted to improve myself in communication skills and all. And I was so enjoyed with this session. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pawan. That's a great news that you're about to join a club. We are very much looking forward for you in the Toastmasters. Thank you, Pawan. And we also have guest Rajesh. So hi, Rajesh. How did you feel about the meeting as a whole?
Hello, Ravi. First of all, I'm a bit sorry because I joined a bit late, but the message was very clear on drafting the speeches. It was quite learnable. Okay, and I'm grateful to all the people over here for sharing their real-time experiences and all. I'm sorry about the background noise. My baby is crying, but it was a great session. Thank you.
No problem, Rajesh. It happens. So thank you, Rajesh. Hope you had a lot of learnings from this meeting. So thank you. And we also have guest Manoj. So hi, Manoj. I think you're on mute. Yeah, you can just tell one line of feedback or any review about the meeting. Okay, I think there's a network issue. All right, let us move forward. We also have guest Savia. So guest
Savia member, so Sirisha.
Yeah. So guest Shirisha. So hi Shirisha, how did you feel about the meeting? Looks like she has exited her meeting. No problem. We also have guest Sharda. Hi Sharda. Okay, I think let us take 10 seconds if she has any. Yeah, I think you're on mute, Sharda. Okay, no problem. Yeah, we also have other Toastmasters from another club. So let us take feedback from Akhil. So hi Akhil, how did you feel about the meeting?
So it was a nice meeting, Toastmaster Raju. When everything was designed in a way, the content was very nice. DTM Anand session had a lot of takeaways for all of us. One thing which we could, which we can change is when timer report is getting flashed, we should remove those clock digits. Unnecessarily it creates anxiety among speakers. My time is running like that. You should have just cards. It's just a suggestion. If it is okay for club, you can go ahead with digits as well. But it should be, effort. And other way around, like everything was quite good. Topics also given very nice, and guests were welcomed, and you paradised guest for table topics. So these are all things which I liked.
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Akhil. I think that's a valid suggestion, and we will make sure to switch off the timing shown initially in these. So thank you. And coming to the table topic, which you said that given the time constraint, we could not accommodate all the guests. So I would like to apologize for that. But next time, we'll make sure we have enough time for the table topic session and encourage all the guests present to participate. Thank you. And we also have Toastmaster Advait who has joined us for the meeting. So hi, Advait.
Hi Rajiv, and
Hello, Toastmasters and guests. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend the entire session. I was busy in some chores and all. But yeah, my own mother present here, Toastmaster Gauri. I couldn't listen to her speech, unfortunately. But the entire session was since started listening, it was amazing. The session flow was very nice. I heard from the evaluations and the way it was concise. The evaluations were also very concise and the reports were fantastic. So great job doing that. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Advait. Hope you enjoyed the meeting from the point where you joined. So I think with that, we have come to the end, and I would like to acknowledge the presence of new members who have joined us in the past 1-2 weeks. So let me welcome Toastmaster Ranjani, Toastmaster Slavia, who has joined us at the STM. So welcome,
Ramanand.
Welcome Ramanand, Ranjani, and Shravya to STM. It's a pleasure to have you here. So in the next meeting, we'll have your induction ceremony. And with that, and also for the guests who would like to give more feedback for us, I'm leaving a link in the chat box, and I request everyone to please fill the form and provide your valuable feedback. Yeah, and with that, I have few announcements for our meeting. So next week, that is 12th September, we won't be having our meet. It will be a holiday for us. And our next meeting is on 19th September, wherein we'll be having another educational session on humorous speeches, because it's a contest season time. And for our STM, we have finalized humorous speech contest and the evaluation speech contest on 24th of August or 24th of October. So for that, we have planned an education session on 19th September. And I request you to attend that session as well. And with that, another announcement is that renewals are open for Toastmasters. For all the members, I request whoever have paid their dues, I request you to please pay the dues. And for any additional information, you can contact me or Vishnu as to how to do that. And with that being said, it's time for announcing the winners of all the segments. For that, let me welcome Toastmaster there.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay. So the best table topic speaker is TM Akib. Congratulations, Akib. And the best speaker who broke the ice very well today is Saviteja and Gauri, both the best speakers for the today. Congratulations, both of you, and all the best and for your future endeavors at Secunderabad Toastmasters. That's all from the presentation I have. Should I close the meeting, Rajiv?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. What a wonderful session that we have today. Sidaya as Sergeant at Arms now. I would like to thank everyone for attending a wonderful session that we have. Remember 4 things. You need to prepare your own murti from your wood, good attire, good jewelry, and finally the soul. Hope everyone remember these 4 things when you craft your next speech. With that, I would say the meeting is concluded and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
So on 19th, Rajiv, did you inform that we'll be having a session on humorous speech?
Yes, I just informed, right?
Yeah.
So
the session will be given by the famous stand-up comedian in Hyderabad and a famous Toastmaster, Rashikarma Medana.
Yeah.
So he's also a Toastmaster and a famous stand-up comedian. And please don't miss the session on 19 because we have the contest coming up in October. So that's the reason.
Yeah. So thank you. We are looking forward in the next meet, that is 19th September. Have a great Sunday. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, team. See you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. All the best.